A motion by Helmut.
Welcome to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we're here to talk about what goes on in the village, the township. You know, those people that make laws and regulations that affect you out there.
That's right. Whether you live in the village of Oxford, the village of Leonard, Addison Township, or Oxford Township, these are the people that you went and elected, and the commissions and the committees that make decisions that directly affect you, whether you chose to go to that meeting or not. And the result can be a taxing
Situation.
That's right.
Yes. And you know, there's humor in these meetings.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Some at the bottom, some at the top.
Yeah. It bubbles to the top. We scoop it off and we present it to our audience, right?
We only give them the cream.
The cream of the crop. There's one more thing that happens here. Well, actually, two things. One of us spreads rumors. That'd be this guy. So pay close attention as we go through these minutes.
He does, because he confirms them.
Once in a while, I do. Yep. The other thing is that this is the abbreviated form of the meeting that if you would attend, how long would it take?
I've been there for 3 hours. And generally, it's not 3 hours, but they are much longer than our little summarization here. But if
2
you
days.
do, wish to look at, the entire verbatim meeting, and we don't delete anything,
How do you do that?
we put it on our website, OCCTV.org. Click on programs, and bang, you're there.
Yeah,
Everything's
right.
in reverse date order. You can even tunnel down with a little drop-down menu that specifies what township, what village, et cetera, et cetera. So, get the chips, get the pop, and lay back in that easy chair because you're going to wait.
All right. Now, let's get on with a couple of meetings that we have coming up. Coming up, a couple of meetings. Those meetings, okay?
Okay.
We have 3, maybe.
Well,
If
rack
we
up-
get to them.
Lock and load that first one, will you?
Oh, will do. Okay, that's the Village of Oxford Planning Commission meeting. Gary Douglas serves as the chair on that board. Rose Bama serves on that board. Jack Curtis, Kelsey Cook, and Maureen Helmuth, who's been around for quite a while on the various boards. Justin Ballard, who was absent at this particular meeting, and Leslie Pilak, or Pilak. I
Okay.
don't know. I think they pronounce it Pilak.
I take a note, but that's what she was doing.
That's what I was doing, yes. Well, they actually had a special meeting. It was held in the community room.
Oh,
So there's a very hot topic that they've been discussing for some time now. It's called marijuana.
at least the way they spell it.
Yeah, all right. And but
They don't use an H. They don't use a J. They use an H
they
in the
use an
middle.
H, yes, which would not be the Spanish version probably.
Yeah. Or anyone else's.
Although if they use an H, actually the J's are pronounced as H in Spanish. Did you know that?
Really?
Yes. Okay. Would that be a rumor?
But 2 L's are pronounced like a Y, but we don't put a Y in there.
No. Well, somebody got, say, well, let's take a shortcut. We'll put an
Oh
H.
boy. Let's
Whatever.
substitute one letter for another.
Right, what the heck? Why did I put a Z in there?
Why was it called a shortcut?
It's not a shortcut, it's a cut of a short. Anyway, they did the pledge and got the preliminaries out of the way. The agenda, of course, for October 15th was this particular meeting, and they moved items around a little bit, as they usually do in the agenda. And then the moved around version was approved. Minutes for September 17th were approved, and correspondence. No correspondence.
Okay.
So we're going to skip through this rather
No one
quickly
calls,
because
no
it
one
was
writes. What?
What was it?
You said no correspondence.
No correspondence, right? Nobody wants to talk to you. Oh, you're talking to me?
I'm talking to you.
Oh, okay.
Talking to me?
Yeah, right. Okay. So this was a short meeting. Actually, they went on about a number of things concerning the new law and marijuana.
New law as far as the state is concerned, or the village?
As far as the state is concerned, and what the village is going to do to work in unison with the state.
Now, it's not called a law in the village, it's called an ordinance, right?
In ordinance. It is what it is, but, it's an ordinance,
Right.
which you might as well say is a law. Ordinance is a longer word, of
Well, you
course.
might as well then.
Might as well do that. Actually, I'm trying to think. Kelsey Cook gave a presentation, I believe, part of this, and she is on the municipal league. So she has contacts with people that have been involved with the marijuana regulations that have, occurred.
The Municipal League is an organization of all these small towns and what have you in in Michigan, right?
That is correct. Yep. Hey, I'm really impressed. Wow. Okay. But anyway, the person that she's been talking to is, her name is Jennifer, and I believe the last name is Rugatank. Anyway, I probably massacred it, but anyway, she's a very knowledgeable individual, I guess, with the Municipal League that Kelsey has been talking to. And a couple of things she said is that items to be worked out normally will go before the court, that there's a lot of things, there's, loose edges yet. And so there's more coming down the pike. And so that smoke you see could be the train traveling your direction if you're dealing with marijuana.
Sounds like a lot of fog is getting thrown up here because they have a deadline, don't they, to make a decision?
They do. Actually, there are no permits that are going to be given out before November 1st.
Okay.
So there's a lot of other things that need to be done between now and then. And she noted too that there's a situation where you could overturn the situation as far as number of marijuana locations you have, and if you've opted out.
You mean dispensaries?
Yeah, dispensaries. But let's say you're a community that opted out. In other words, you don't want marijuana.
Okay.
She's implying that through a vote of the people, that could be overturned. And so that law could change.
But
do you
didn't
think
the
of that?
village have a vote, and didn't the people say we want it?
Yes, they
But?
did, but the state law gives you an opportunity either to lock into it or not, to opt in or opt out. You have a certain deadline in order to decide if you're going to opt out or not.
So was that vote to opt in, or was that vote simply to have
The
a vote?
village was, yeah, the village was to opt in on this.
Okay.
And so if you opt in, if you choose that, then you have to have an ordinance in place by November 1st.
And?
And if you don't, then the state takes it over. And the state will tell you, oh, let me see, willy-nilly, here's a permit, there's a permit, everywhere's a permit.
Well,
So you gotta be careful.
So Oxford is on the cusp of,
They're in the cusp of providing certain locations or areas in which these facilities can go into.
Okay.
And it looks like it's going to be on Glaspie Street in the manufacturing zone.
now, Village of Oxford is in Oxford Township, which itself voted not to have any of these places.
That is correct. But I think the township is looking at this as to what is the neighboring township doing? What is the neighboring villages doing? What kind of impact is it having on the community? In other words, what kinds of problems have come about from this?
Right.
I mean, it's kind of a stand back, look and see situation from the township. Because obviously, I mean, they're producing marijuana right next door to us in Orion Township, in a large facility over there. However, they're not allowed to
A
sell.
large facility?
Yeah, a very large facility.
Really?
Yep. You didn't know that,
I
huh?
mean, growing it or
They're
dispensing
growing
it?
Growing it, and also I think they're, what do they say, checking the quality of the product, that kind of thing. Because you have to have that kind of thing going on, make sure of the purity. So, what would you call that? You're in the science.
In wine, they call that taste testing.
Well, what David calls taste testing, we'll talk more when we come back right after this, folks. Welcome back to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we are talking about marijuana, and can you say smoking? David said the best check for quality is the taste. After we
Only in wine.
only in wine. Okay, so anyway, so if you folks want to learn more about what's going on in the village in the planning commission stage of this marijuana approval and where it's going to be and what kind of ordinances are going to apply locally, you can go to occtv.org
That's right.
and find that information from the whole meeting that went on. So that part of it really went on for quite a while. So rather than cover it here, we'd be here for about a day and a half. So if you want to watch it on there, you
Oh,
got
it goes without saying that having legalized marijuana in the state, much like alcohol, it now becomes a cash cow revenue generator by Texas.
for some folks.
Well, if you grow your own, you don't.
No, and you can have 12 plants. Here's 12, there's 12, everywhere's 12, 12. But the children are not allowed to smoke it. There's 12, there's 12. How do you think that's going to work?
Well, how do they define a child? I mean, is it over 18,
Teenagers.
over 18, over 21? What?
Well, I don't know. Whoever can get their hands on it and smoke, I guess, could be grade school kids, any number of people. But
Bobby, stop playing in the garden.
they'll say, well, you do it.
Well, it's another story.
Right, so that's a whole issue that I'm sure is going to be problem-oriented.
There's a
Yeah.
whole...
That's like chickens. I mean, you got chickens here, chickens there, everywhere. And the enforcement guy that checks, critters and that kind of thing, he says, you folks will be making a terrible mistake in the village if you have chickens, because it's going to attract other critters in the area as
Well,
well.
I figured someone would raise a squawk about it.
Actually, the chickens are trying to protect their own lives. They don't care as long as they're cooped up. That's why they call it chicken coops. So they can be cooped up.
Well,
Safe.
like dogs have electric fences out there. Mm-hmm. All you have to do
That
is take
hurts
empty
when they run
cans of Campbell's chicken noodle soup and plant it around your
Yeah.
lawn. They'll never go by it.
Did you ever watch these dogs in this electric fence thing?
Yeah. I often thought that would be a good training aid for golf.
Yeah,
Where the trainer would sit there and watch you mess up and go, oh.
I think that'd be good for chipmunks if you get one of the itty bitty collars on them. But that probably wouldn't work too well.
Well.
Trying to catch them, they're quick.
Yeah,
you
that's
catch
why.
them
That's
all the
why.
time.
That's why I use a live trap.
Yeah, right. What do you do then? Tickle them to
They
death?
love
or-
field corn. They just love it.
Oh, okay. I have been unable to trap or catch any of them. They're too slippery. I've watched them go in, eat my food, wave to me,
Well,
and
you're
then
using the
run
wrong
out.
food. You have to use field corn
Yeah. I got to get something
and
that
delicately balance it on that little table in the middle.
you need to mix it with glue so that when they grab a hold of it.
Save a lot on corn.
Right. Anyway, let's go on to the next meeting, shall we? Leonard Village Council meeting on October 14th, and Mike McDonald is the president, and he serves as the chair for that board. Southerby serves on that board, Arundel, Swack, and Kennedy. And the clerk was there, Cindy Grosskopf, and the treasurer, Judy Verse. All these people were present. So, they did the pledge, of course, the preliminaries. Shar gave a prayer, benediction of,
Oh, please.
yeah, help, help. Okay, of course, Leonard has one major issue.
They
And-
do?
Yes, they do, and it's called finance. They don't have a lot of money over there.
Well, we're not a big
And-
town.
Right, and the lowest taxes in this area are from Leonard.
Really?
Yep. So what they need to do, probably, in my opinion, it's only
Is-
my opinion,
This is going to hurt.
it's going to really hurt, is that you need to look at your tax base and I think increase the taxes enough so that you can cover the expenses
True.
incurred
And,
by
and
the
Leonard,
village.
Leonard is essentially a bedroom community, and
It is.
doesn't have much industry or anything out there.
Well, Mike McDonald is totally against taxes, as he said in the past.
Because he's a Democrat?
Well, I don't know. It could be.
Or a
but,
Republican.
they don't mind spending money for whatever, but if they can find it, they dig
Oh,
it out
oh,
of
sure.
out of the tin can in the backyard, that kind
But
of
to
thing.
maintain basic services, sometimes you've got to
Yeah.
pony up.
And
as they
one of
say.
the subjects they brought up here was the municipal sewage system possibility. And
There's an assessment there.
well, there is. Well, there is right now no municipal system. There's septic fields. As you know, in the springtime, it bubbles to the top, bubbles to the bottom. Anyway, so that's an issue that a number of residents have brought up in the past.
A number of small communities have the same problem, so.
Yeah. But Mike McDonald, he said that really he hasn't heard any major complaints from anybody in the last few months. It seems like only in the springtime. Okay? What does that mean? I don't know. You tell me.
Well, you got to step by and smell the roses
Yeah.
or something else.
Yeah, right. So anyway, they decided to postpone it in this particular meeting for another 6 months for review.
Does it affect, but they don't have municipal water either, do they?
No,
So
They have well water.
The well water comes from the same ground that the cesspools are in,
but much deeper.
so they say.
Well, I'm pretty sure the health department checks it frequently
Okay.
from the county. As a matter of fact, they just did a well off the Pollyant Trail for a drinking fountain for the people running by and they're
There's
thirsty.
not too many houses by the Pollyant.
Well, that's where the mill is too, in that vicinity. You know, the old mill that they're remodeling over
Well,
there.
that
in Leonard?
cesspool hasn't been used for years.
Oh, right. But anyway, the health department has cleared the water there, so water is safe
Okay,
for drinking on
right.
that corner. Can I guarantee every other corner, but
Well,
that one is good.
It's just a consideration after a while where there's a very high density of cesspools in a small
Mm-hmm.
community that sometimes the state will come in and go, we gave you the opportunity, now it's our turn.
Yeah, and actually, the estimate for this portion of a municipal system would be over $2 million. And they
They
kind
don't
of,
have that much population out there, do they?
no, they kind of figured it out. It would cost each household about $50,000. And then you got to do a hookup too. And that,
True, but
that's a-
that's not, give us the $50,000 now.
Yeah.
It's probably a
They
30-year
say-
mortgage kind of a thing.
They say we would, but we don't have it.
Right.
And that brings us to the budget, okay, the accounts payable. General fund, they had bills for $4,263. For the major fund, there's an error in the original document.
Yeah,
They initially said 26,000, it was 25,000.
Okay.
So that was adjusted and the treasurer brought that, to the board's attention. So $26,330 turned out to be $25,330. Okay, hey, look at that, they saved $1,000 easily, right there, just
So-
by,
oh,
maybe
was-
you could do that with an eraser.
was
Do
that
you do
expense or income?
That's expense.
Oh,
going out.
good.
They have no income, I mean. So that takes care of that. So we'll tell you more when we come back, folks, right after this. Welcome back to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
We're having a lively discussion here, aren't we, David?
You betcha.
And we are talking about all kinds of things that bubble to the top over there in Leonard. Actually, Leonard's a beautiful little town. If you've not been over there, go on over and check it in the fall. As it is, the colors are gorgeous. Of course,
All
with the rain,
America's
you can't
small
see.
town.
Yeah, small town. And next thing on the agenda, as far as business, was the Community Beautification Committee expenditures, and they're looking to get $200 for the Christmas program that they have coming up. Pay for cider and things like that, and Christmas ornaments and things, And they'd like to merge with the Parks and Rec
Of the
committee
township?
in the village.
Of the village?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like to merge with them, but according to Mike McDonald, that could be an issue as far as, monies that they have pre-appropriated, for the
Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec, yeah, for the building, the mill.
Ah,
So
I thought that was a separate budget line.
it is, but it's part of the parks system.
Oh,
And right now, they've not spent any money out of it. It's going to cost roughly about $40,000, I think, just to do the foundation. Once they get done with that, there's lots of other work, of course, to be done. And by the way, if you folks feel
have they established a timeline as to when all this will be complete?
I don't think we can live long enough.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's out there a ways. Whenever they can get enough
I know.
money ahead, and It's not, volunteers aren't a problem. I mean, people in Leonard volunteer as they do in Leonard and
A dollar
Oxford.
here, a dollar there,
Yeah.
a little more progress that day.
That's right. Roll up your sleeves, get in there. So if you feel so inclined to help them out financially, just knock on their door and say, throw the money in and just run. That'll do it.
Is there a stream that goes by there? I mean, why do they call it a mill? I mean, what powered it?
Well, I would tell you solar, but that wouldn't be it. I'm pretty sure. I think there might have been water at one time. I don't know.
Yeah, usually when you hear a mill, that there's some natural source of power.
Like the old mill stream. Is that
The old mill stream, yes.
okay? This one I don't know. If it did have a stream, it probably dried up years ago. Although out in that area, you can stick a shovel in the ground and get water 10 feet high. So I don't know.
I don't know. Be interesting to find out.
Yes, it would be. Why don't you check on it? Take a note.
I'll take a note.
Okay. Hey, I didn't see you write anything.
Hey, you ever see a New York waiter write anything down?
Oh, it keeps all that information up the top, huh? Okay, so anyway,
And it overflows.
Oakland County is having a 200-year bicentennial coming up on March 28th of 2020, and they wanted to have every community plant an oak tree, and you have your choice of oak trees that you want to plant. So they had a discussion as to where they were going to put this oak tree, and there's
An oak tree?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought,
the old oak
well,
tree.
how many oak trees were they planning on planting?
Well, they're only required to do one, if they're going to participate in this.
Oh, okay. There was a
gala.
reason that this was called Oakland County,
Right.
but not so much anymore.
Well, I still see oaks out there.
Oh, there are oaks, yeah, but this used to be rampant with them.
No, it was, huh? See, up in my neck of the woods, it was pretty much pine. A lot of pine. I don't see so many around here, only in the backyards of people that planted
Where you
them.
live, all I see were soybeans.
Soybeans. Yeah, there's a lot of soybeans up there. There are. Yeah, that's a cash crop. Anyhow, so they agreed that they would go ahead and do that. They're just trying to find the proper location for it. So somewhere near the school down in that area was a consideration. Anyway, there's going to be more on this subject. It's not till 2020 anyway. So let me see what else. Halloween hours. Yeah, we can't forget that.
Curfew.
Yeah, well, we got the kids going to be out. So October 31st, of course, is Halloween. And from 6 to 7 is going to be the curfew.
6 to 7?
6 to 7.
Wow.
1 hour. Yeah.
Better run, kids.
Really fast. Yeah.
6 to 7.
6 to
Man.
7. But at 7 o'clock, the fire department's going to have an open house for the kids.
Ah.
You're going to have cider and donuts and all that kind of thing. So let the kids get in the fire truck, play with the water hoses. and-
They'll love that.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's what's going on over there in Leonard. Old business in Leonard, the sanitary sewer, which we already discussed that, and it looks like that's on the back burner for a while. In other words, the water put it out. It's
The
done.
methane gas would light it up.
It might do that, yeah. DPW update, they're going to need a new truck, it looks like, because their truck seems parts falling off here, parts falling off there, and willy-nilly all over. So they have a hard time keeping the fluids in. They put it in, it comes back out.
Oh, well,
So they're going to have to work on getting a new vehicle, it looks like. So they're pursuing that issue down the line. You folks, again, will hear more about that over there. Now, if you don't raise your taxes to get monies to buy this new truck, I'm pretty sure Mike McDonald will be using his car with a snow shovel on the front. Something to
well, they do have a lot of
transport
horses
things
out
around.
there to haul things around.
They do, yeah. That's kind of, agricultural horse country area. Excuse me. Let me see. Native Design is the name of the company that is going to do the sidewalks. And that should be coming up pretty soon. They're also going to get this company, I think, to cut the trees, the bad trees that are, dead ones, Halloween trees. They'll probably wait till after Halloween to do it. But anyway, they're going to cut these dead trees out of the way.
Halloween trees.
Right, Halloween trees. Okay, let me see, what else have I got? Oh, remember that sinkhole? They found out what caused it. There's a T, what do you call them? Clay tile clay
And-
tile in there, and
yeah.
it cracked.
What was it doing? Was it a sewer pipe?
No, it's just a drainage pipe, you know, for
There's a
all the
difference?
water around, you know.
There's a difference?
Yeah, there is, yeah. You know, and this one, you don't necessarily,
Not sanitary sewer.
no. So anyway, so that's what they found, and so they've repaired it, and they filled it in, and I think the people are going to be coming back to do blacktop on it as well. Okay, with that being said, the only other thing we want to talk about is the Pollyant Trail, and that happened October 16th. Curtis Wright is the chairman. Mike McDonald is the assistant chair, vice chair, whatever you want to call him. Bruce Pearson serves on that board, Donnie Steele, Elgin Nichols, and Eric Sent. Joe Frost serves on it, but he was absent. And Aaron Watley, who is the Parks and Recreation Executive Director for Orion Township. But he had, apparently there was an accident or something, and that's why he wasn't able to attend
Oh.
this meeting. He wasn't in the accident, but somebody else was. They fell out of a tree, apparently. What they were doing up a tree, I have no idea, but apparently it was on park property.
Oh, well,
Okay, Linda Moran is the trail manager. Kevin Green is the citizen rep, and he travels the trail all the time and gives feedback on it. Audience, Joe Madur was there, and he was or is the village manager. Pledge was done, all the preliminaries out of the way, consent agenda was covered, taken care of, and treasurer's report with the bills of $2,332. Financial reports were all received and filed. Citizens report, you folks might want to check a magazine called Lakefront Manager, because you got a very famous Linda Moran
Oh.
that was featured in the magazine. So that being said, what's coming up?
Not much. Well,
Not much.
I
That's it? That's all
I
you
had
got?
to really push it out to November 4th
Oh, my
to
gosh.
come up with a meeting. At 7 o'clock, the Oxford Township Planning Commission will be meeting, and that's all
it.
I got.
Okay, well, I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
Catch you next time right here on Minutes by Minute.
See you then.